Well, welcome back to Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. Jim Holley, Jason Weigandt back after an Easter break. We are at Quest Field here in Seattle. And Jim, this is big. Championship coming down to the wire in 2 classes here. It's a stretch drive. It's like the playoffs. 3 races to go. Anything can happen with these championships.
Yeah, and you know something, Jason, I really did need that weekend off after that battle we had in Jacksonville, Florida. I think that was good. You know, the tempers were flaring between Chad Reed and James Stewart, and it's only going to get more intense. Like you said, 3 rounds to go. We're in Seattle. It's going to be great weather. I was worried it might have been a mud race. You hate to see a championship come down to a mud race, but I think we're going to have some great racing in that Supercross class because those guys, you know, the pressure's on Stewart. He's got to win. All Chad has to do is maybe try to win one more and then finish out second the rest of the season. So, you know, for James, it's all about winning, and for Chad, it's all about trying to sneak in there and getting a win. And, you know, don't think that what you saw on the television coverage from Jacksonville, don't think that's over. That's just going to continue to build going into Vegas that last round. And what can you say about that lights? You know, February 14th, Valentine's Day, here it is, a week after Easter. That's when these guys on the lights on the West Coast are coming back. Ryan Dungey has a 2-point lead over Jake Weimer. Then just a little bit behind that, Ryan Morse. He's still looking for his first win. You know, Weimer and Dungey, they have wins. Trey Kennard, he doesn't have a win yet this year. There's 2 more to go. It's all about Seattle, trying to stretch that point lead out for Dungey and trying to, you know, take control of that series. And then the final will be next weekend in Salt Lake City. That's going to be an interesting race too.
Now, they were anticipating rain, of course, here in Seattle. It is an open stadium here at Quest Field, so they brought in new soil. It's actually kind of sandy because sand absorbs water better than dirt, but it's not going to rain. This actually should be heads-up racing, and as you mentioned, with a championship coming down to the wire, you want to see the best man win, and that doesn't always happen in a mud race.
No, and I got to go back to Toronto. You know, even though that was a dome, that they bring in the dirt, it's wet. You know, here in Seattle, the dirt, the sand, what they brought in here to Quest Field is going to be a little bit ruddy. I mean, it's going to be a ruddy track by all means. It's not going to be no blue groove track or anything, and you're going to see a lot of the guys out there changing their lines. You know, it might work for a couple laps going to the inside, but then that rut gets too deep. They got to move to the outside. And all the faces of the triple, anybody who's listening and watching this, you know, you've dealt with ruts, you know, on takeoffs of jumps. They're going to have about 14 of those ruts to deal with on all those triples and all those timing sections. So, you know, I don't feel bad for the riders. I mean, it's going to be a tough track for these guys here in Seattle. By all means, it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Oh, that's what we want to see. We want to see the best man. We want to see them earn it. We'll be covering it all afternoon from Seattle. He's Jim and I'm Jason. Make sure you keep us tuned in here on supercrossonline.com.